Romeo and Juliet, a romance, a tragedy, the tale of two doomed teenagers, star-crossed lovers who could never be together. But what if I were to tell you that it wasn't just about love? What if I told you that the story was also about power, control, and rebellion, on stage and off?
In 1586, Shakespeare left his home in Stratford-upon-Avon and moved to London to pursue playwriting. Unlike other writers of his time, Shakespeare had a unique way of thinking. He wrote plays that reflected the issues people were facing right then and there. For example, in Julius Caesar, he explored what was happening when power is uncertain and leaders fall.
At the time, Queen Elizabeth was aging and had no named heir. People were anxious about what would come next. Shakespeare wasn't just writing stories, he was sparking new perspectives. And in this case, the new perspectives were on teenagers. In 1599, Romeo and Juliet was written. On the surface, it was a love story. But if you dug deeper, you would find that beneath the romance lies a tale of power and control. Juliet is 13. Her parents are forcing her to marry someone she doesn't love. Romeo, her lover, is from the rival family, making him completely off limits. So what do? They rebel. Their love becomes something like a protest against their families, the society, and the rules that keep them apart. And at this time, this is revolutionary. Most romances were comedies ending happily with the lovers getting married. But in Romeo and Juliet's case, it was a love story ending with death. But let's take a step back. Juliet is 13. Romeo is impulsive. How about we look at the plot? Day 1. Romeo and Juliet meet at the party. They kiss within minutes. Day 2. Romeo and Juliet get married. Day 3. Tybalt is dead. Romeo is banished. Day 4. Juliet fakes her death. Romeo doesn't get the message, and they die together in a tomb. All of that in 4 days. 4. Was it really love, or was it panic? A desperate escape from a world that wouldn't let them choose. Juliet's parents were forcing her to marry Paris, a man who she didn't know or want. So when Romeo appears, Juliet clings on to him. Maybe not because he's her soulmate, because he isn't Paris. Back in Shakespeare's time, England was full of tension. The government was strict. Daughters were expected to obey. Marriage wasn't about love. It was about family alliances, money, and power. Young people didn't get to choose, and Shakespeare put that on stage. It didn't spark protests or cause rules to change overnight, but it started to change people's way of thinking. At the time, daughters were property of their fathers. Juliet refusing a marriage and standing up for what she wanted was shocking. It planted seeds for new thinking, for young people to have their own voice. But it didn't change the world overnight, but it changed the normal. So yes, Romeo and Juliet is a love story, but it also shows what happens when voices are ignored, when passion overpowers reason, when choices and freedom are stolen, desperation takes place. Romeo and Juliet isn't just about romance, it's also about rebellion.